Going to do something slightly different now. We're going to go straight to the business, but Stephen's sitting at the desk with us. We'll explain more in just a few seconds' time. You're going to start, though, aren't you, Stephen, with a look at the markets?
Yeah, that's right. European shares opening up with some moderate gains at the start of trading today. The German carmaker Daimler's shares down 3%. That's after the company issued a profit warning in response to the impact of Chinese trade tariffs on their company. They're the first major company to issue a profit warning over that. That news sending, in fact, all European car makers' shares down at the start of trading today. That's the picture on the European markets at the open. Over in Asia, Shanghai and Hong Kong shares having a bit of a wobble again today over trade. You can see some small falls there on the Chinese markets, but some gains on the Nikkei in Tokyo. Well, those trade tensions, of course, a big concern for businesses as well. China's Global Times reporting today that Beijing could hit firms listed on the Dow Jones Industrial Average in future tariffs. That includes the plane maker Boeing. To discuss this and other issues, I'm joined in studio by Ihssane Mounir, who's Senior Vice President of Commercial Sales and Marketing for the Boeing company. Thank you for coming in to see us.
Thanks for having me.
How worried are you about the trade tensions with China?
To some extent I am, to some extent I'm not, in the sense that if you look at our production rates today, and if you look at our production globally, about 1 out of every 4 airplanes we build delivers to China. So yes, so that gets me concerned because we depend on China, we depend on the business in China. But then again, I say I'm not, because if you look at the long-term relationship that we've had, you look at the historical relationship we've had in China, you look at the market in China, we've had strong ties for the past 45 years. We've been working with the airlines, we've been working with the government agencies, supporting and shoring them up to get to the point that they are at in state of development. So I'd like to take a long-term perspective on these things and hope that it's going to pass. We're in constant and active dialogue with both parties. We're making sure that in the U.S. our government understands what's at stake and understand how the relationship is, and on the Chinese side we're doing the same.
It's not just China, is it? You've got problems in Iran as well, the imposition of sanctions by the US. I mean, presumably that's closing off a big potential market for you. How's it affecting the business?
It's not really affecting it. We've had our deal that was announced back at the end of 2016, as you know, and we did not account for that deal, for those deliveries in our production system. We made sure that we had provisions in there. You look at our backlog, we have 5,800 strong, close to 5,900 airplanes, and that production and that backlog will not be affected. We're following the lead of the United States government. Today we do not have a license to sell to Iran, but
so it's not frustrating at all?
It is. We're strong believers in free trade, and we're strong believers in providing tools and capacity for people who want to connect parts of the world and wants to connect commerce across the globe. We believe in free trade. It is a bit frustrating, but we follow the lead of the government, and we're in a good place.
So 2 major growth markets, or potential growth markets, seeing potential troubles there. But you still see big growth ahead for the airline industry. 40,000 planes, even more needed in the next 20 years?
Yeah, it's 41,000 planes. You're talking about $6 trillion worth of business for the next 20 years. It's a big market. It's been growing very steady, very strong. We've seen year-on-year growth that is very robust. The last 3 years, actually, the industry has realized more profits than the last 30 years. You're seeing a little bit of a decline in the profits that they've announced, that IATA has announced, but it remains very strong and positive. So, yeah, it's a big market out there, and we have the right product line for it, and we've got orders coming in, and people are happy.
One issue that has affected some of your Dreamliner, the 787 line, was the last month when the FAA placed restrictions on certain engines because of issues with the Rolls-Royce brand engine. Where are you with getting that problem fixed?
We're working very tight with Rolls-Royce. We're working jointly and figuring out solutions for the AD, the advisory note that came from the regulatory agencies to do some fixes. It's moving forward. Rolls is making progress. We're making progress with the customers, and I think we'll eventually get through it.
Okay, Ihssane Mounir, Senior Vice President of Commercial Sales and Marketing for the Boeing company. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
And finally from Stephen, Instagram has reached the milestone, hasn't it, Stephen, of 1 billion users.
It's marking it with a new video app that's called IGTV. It allowed for users to post videos of up to 10 minutes or even longer for accounts with large audiences. It's a move by Instagram's owner, Facebook, to attract younger users. It also puts Instagram into closer competition for advertising with Google's YouTube. But YouTube stars like Lele Pons says she'll continue to use both.
nothing's going to change. I will still be posting on YouTube as well. I'm going to be posting on Instagram because you never know what works. And like, the thing is that the beauty about the internet is that you never know what can happen. It's an unknown thing. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing half and half. I'm going to be posting as much as I do on YouTube, which is once a week, and then as well as in Instagram, and see how it works.
Lele Pons has 25 million Instagram followers.
Really?
That's a lot more than me.
Slightly. You've only got 24, is that
24,
right?
yeah, that's all.
It's almost the same. Thank you very much, Stephen. Stephen with Business on France 24.